Hi Positive Readers, it's Positive Writer. Today was a video, and today I'm going to be telling you about all the books that I've read that romance ruined. There is no question that I obviously do not like YA very much. I don't like romance very much either. And one of the reasons why I hate YA so much is because I hate romance so much. Because people put so much romance into YA because I guess they think people want it, and a lot of people do want it. And I'm just not one of those people, so I end up not liking YA as a whole, because no matter the genre inside of YA that you read, there probably is going to be some dumbass romance that's going to ruin the whole book for you. And that happened in all these instances right now that I'm going to tell you about today. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this. These are all types of books in basically the same genre, because I read all of them before, like a while ago, but still, I really just wanted to come on here and explain to you why romance really ruined these books for me, and why romance ruins fantasy books in the first place. But I think I'll save that whole topic thing for another video. But without further ado, I'm going to get into this. The first book on the list is Warcross by Marie Lu. This book, I loved it because the world building was amazing. I liked the main character for half the book, and I really just liked the world, to be honest. The plot was pretty decent too. But what really made it fall flat for me, and I don't know what star rating I gave it, but what really made it disgusting was the fact that the main character was like, she's a bad bitch, she had some goals that she wanted to get done, she needed some stuff, she was really poor and stuff in the society that she was living in, so she was all about her business, she was going to do what she needed to do. And then she met the love interest and just lost all of her marbles. She started second guessing everything. She started having no personality whatsoever. All of her common sense flew out of the window in favor of this dumbass romance with her and this love interest. And I've never been more furious, I think. Actually, that's a lie, but still. I was so upset because for the book to start off so amazing, and then the plot was still decent, but now I have to sit through you guys' romance and hate the main character now too, because she doesn't have a brain cell anymore. It's just like, it really made me want to jump. It was like, I hate that. I hate any time a character is ruined because of a romance. It's like, why would you ruin an entire character that you created just so they can be with this person? It's so fucking stupid. The next book on this list is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. Oh gosh, this book was like my least favorite book of 2018. It wasn't my least favorite, it was one of them. It was really at the top, and this ship from this book, all the ships on this list were in a video that I made called Ships I Hate. I might link it, I might not, but all of them, except for like one or two, were on that list because I hate the ships, which is why the book ended up falling flat or not or whatever. But this one, Stalking That Director, was definitely on both of those lists, and it just really disgusted me because, you know, I went into it not knowing much. I did know a lot of people like the ship, so maybe I just had too high of an expectation for the ship. But not only that, it's Stalking Jack the Ripper, so I'm like, okay, this must be about, I read the blurb, I think it was about this girl and this guy eventually they're trying to hunt down a serial killer in London, 1800. I was so excited for this book, and it ended up just being it was just a romance novel, basically. And I'm thinking it's going to be a mystery, that I'm going to be able to find out who did this, we're going to be looking at clues, it's going to be fun. But it was literally just a romance. It was literally just Audrey Rose blushing every time Thomas, whatever his last name was, saying something stupid or arrogant or whatever. It was so cringy, and I was disgusted with it, honestly. Because I went into it expecting to love it, and I guess those high expectations really just fell flat for me because it was completely not what I expected. But that's not even the point. It's just like, why would you make a book called Stalking Jack the Ripper and make it more about these two love interests together than Stalking Jack the Ripper? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like I was the only one who cared about the fucking mystery. And, you know, they kind of cared. But all I remember from that book really was the very end, which was good. And then the romance. Like, why is that the thing that stood out the most? It's just, wow. The next book on this list is Roseblood. I don't remember the author. I really didn't like this book, so I don't remember much about it. But I do remember the fact that it started off good. I read it for Booktuber in 2018. And I think, was it 17? It was one of those years. But I started it off and it was really good. I was liking it. It was two point of views. It was the main character and then this like antagonist type of monster type of person, because it was a Phantom of the Opera retelling. So it was like a Phantom point of view, and then it was like her point of view. And I liked it because it was a good story, and also the Phantom's point of view basically had him talking about how when he was a child and stuff, he was reading books and stuff about monsters and stuff, and he said something about how, you know, being a monster is just like kind of, it's perspective, you know, a monster in somebody else's book might not be a monster in someone else's, you know what I'm saying? I like the deeper meaning that they added to the book because I never read or watched Phantom of the Opera, so I didn't know what it was, and I don't even really like the premise of the play. So for them to make the book like this, I was rooting for it. And then the main character and the Phantom basically crossed paths, and that's when the whole book just fell flat. It lost any type of substance that it had. It lost that deeper meaning that I was talking about, and it was literally just a romance from them on. And it was like one of those toxic romances that a lot of people, I guess, enjoy. But I literally can't stand because, like, what's the point in this? It was really disgusting, and I really did not like it. So, that definitely ruined that book for me. Now, when I remember it being very bad because it just was like, why am I reading this? It's like, it started off completely different. Like, the last half of the book, like a completely different novel. It was just really, no. The next book on this list is Furyborn by, I don't remember the author again, and I really don't, these are books I don't even like, so I don't even care enough to look. But Furyborn. This book I read in, I think, the beginning of last year, and I literally wanted to die. Like, this book, I was so excited. I mean, it's my fault, I guess, somewhat, that I don't like a lot of these books, because I go into them with so many expectations, because people will talk, like, they, like, raise them to the highest pedestal, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna follow your lead and, you know, hope that it's good. And it's not even that I'm hoping it's good, because I find out stuff about the book that I know I will like, and then I read the novel, and in the context that the novel has put the stuff that I liked, that I thought I'd like in it, it just is completely random and disgust. Like, I started this book, and it was alright from the beginning. It was okay, I liked most of the main characters, it was alright, but it was just, the romance was the most thing that I remember the most about the book. Like, I remember basic plot points, and one of the point of views was significantly better than the other one. But, like, the other girl's point of view made me want to, like, die. Like, I just remember she had, like, two love interests at the same time, and one was, like, this entity that was, like, inside of her head, and the other one was, like, a childhood person that she knew or whatever, and they were both so cringy. Like, her with both love interests made me want to literally, like, die. Like, it was so nasty to me, because it was just, like, she was so, like, inexperienced, and they, like, knew everything, so it was, like, they were, like, taking the lead. It was just, like, so cringy. Like, I remember it being so cringy, and I'm like, why am I reading this? Like, it's a fantasy novel about these two timelines or whatever, and these two different characters that are somehow connected, and all I could take away from that is some shitty romance. It's just like, why was that the defining feature? That's like a reoccurring thing with a lot of these books. The reason why romance ruined it is because the romance is the most important thing. I can like a book with a romance I don't like, but the fact that the romance is like bigger than the fantasy, it's like, why is it a fantasy novel then? If it was a romance novel, I'd know that and I wouldn't have read it, you know? The next book on the list is Acowar by Maas, and this book is obviously trash, and I know that, and a lot of you know that too, and know that I think that. And the thing that made it trash was, there were a lot of things, but the main thing, Feyre did a full 360 from her character development in Acowar. And Acowar, she was a rat, she was like random, she was like basic and stuff, she was inexperienced, you know, not just in that way, it was just like she didn't know how to do much because she was like a human in a fantasy world. It made sense. It was alright, it was fine, I gave the book like 3 stars. Then in Acowar, she snapped so hard, like she became this bad bitch that like stood up for herself and was never quiet, she was never submissive again, she was always, you know, at the forefront, she was like taking no for an answer, she was just the best. Like, I really liked her in Acowar. Her character completely did, like, she just, you know, she developed so well, and I really enjoyed it. And then the last book was just like, what is this? It was like, she basically just reverted back to her old Acowar ways, and it was like really nasty to watch. It was like, I hate when characters regress, you know, like, why would you have a character that just goes downhill? And not even like goes downhill in a way that they're a person, like their character goes downhill, like their personal character, like if you saw them in real life, they started to become a bad person. No, I mean that this person is just, their character, it doesn't make any sense. It's like out of character. Like, first you're going to do all this stuff in Acowar and make all this progress as a person, as a character, and then you're going to like change all that. It just didn't make any sense. Like, seriously, Maas, what were you thinking when you wrote this? It's like, I don't know. I just don't understand. She starts off the book and And then she starts doing stuff that completely contradicted who she was in the last book, and it just made no sense. Not only that, but the romance between her and Rhysand made her that way even more. And they had all these random romantic scenes in like the middle of battles and stuff. Like there are people, their battalion or whatever is dying, and they're like having sex in a tent or something. It was just like, for what? And on top of that, the reason why I really don't like the book is because the conflicts were so fake. It was like, you didn't feel any risk with the conflict. It was like, you know they're going to get out of this. And it was like so stupid to read. And that was the main thing. And, you know, on top of that, you're going to put the romance and make her character shitty. It was just like, I really was not having a great time. And this next one is The Last Sacrifice by Richelle Mead, one of my favorite authors. The Vampire Academy series is one that I really enjoy. I loved all the books until the romance ruined the entire series for me, and now I remember it with like a grain of salt. Like I remember enjoying it per se, but I mostly remember not liking these books that I'm going to talk about right now because of this romance that ruined them for me. And Blood Promise, which was like the fifth book, I think, I don't remember, but there are like 7 books, so that kind of was the 5th one because it was one before the last one, which is my least favorite one. But in Blood Promise, Rose Hathaway is the main character, and she's a bad bitch. Like, she's the baddest. I loved Rose. She was great. She was like, you know, she kicked ass. She was an amazing character. You know, she just didn't, you know, she was just one of those characters that I really enjoyed. She gives me kind of like Aelin or / Selena Stardothian from the Throne of Glass series vibes, because she kind of just was a bad bitch, and she kind of just didn't care, and it was cool to see her go through the world, because a lot of the time these protagonists are very basic or very not something I want to read about. But then Blood Promise came around, and spoilers for the Vampire Academy series, she basically had to save Dimitri, who she was dating at the time, from becoming what they call in this Vampire Academy world a Strigoi, which is basically a deadly vampire, because they have the other type of vampires, which I don't remember the name of them, but they are the subdued. They're not subdued, but they're like not fully, you know, they're not murderous or anything. They're just kind of vampires. They have to drink from people and stuff. But Strigoi are like deadly. They like are completely different. They're like basically vampires that you know from like a horror movie or something like that. And they like, you know, they'll kill you and they don't care and they don't have any feelings or whatever. So she had to go save him from being this person. And the whole book was spent doing this. And not only before that, she manipulated another character who she knows really likes her into finding out where he was at so she could go find him and save him. And that wasn't bad enough. But then she spent the rest of the book being so weak and so stupid. It was like she lost all of her points, you know, all of her bad bitch points in this book, because she was just like the worst possible version of herself. And I remember just sitting and drudging through the entire novel to get to the next one and just like feeling like, what is the point in this? It was just so stupid. Basically, I don't know why I'm just talking about Vampire Academy's entire like last 3 novels right now, but basically she got out of his grasp. She did not save him, but she got out of his grasp and then thought that she had killed him, which she didn't want to do, but which she didn't want to do. But she got out, and then she thought he was dead, but he actually wasn't dead. And then she went back to living her normal life, but she was afraid that he was going to pop up and do something. But then Adrian and her got together, and Dimitri housed up at a random time. And the book was alright. But then the last book, I wanted to, like, die. In the last book, she's with Adrian, like I said, and then somehow, I guess her and Dimitri, like, meet back up, and he's alright. And then she cheats on Adrian with Dimitri. And not only that, she gets to be happy with him. Like, they get to be endgame. And I'm like, in what world? Like, I was just so disgusted by the fact that Adrian did so much for her and he cared about her, and she knew that. She used it against him, but not only that, she cheated on him, and then she gets to live happily ever after with Dimitri. I was like, I was over the moon with disgust. I was probably crying. I was very upset because that was just like unethical and just so wrong. And I really just will never ship them again. I never really did. But I don't ship them at all now. They're like one of my least favorite ships ever. And the entire series now goes down in history as like trash, because it's like, why would you end it like that? I can't even be happy about this random endgame that I don't even like for real, because they did something like this. It's just like, oh my, like, I hated it. And then we do love Richelle Mead, because Richelle Mead, instead of just leaving it at that, she did write another series where Adrian's the main character and it's about him finding love and stuff, which is my favorite series ever, right next to Throne of Glass. So we love her for doing that. So it's not really Richelle Mead's fault, it's like the character's fault for being a bitch. So basically, yeah. But enough about that. the next and last book on this list is A Reaper at the Gates. And I said this is one of the highest rated books on this list because all these other books got like 3 stars or less. But this book right here is one of the highest. I think it's the highest rated book on this list. And the perfect example of how romance can ruin a book. Because this is the last one. And I think it's the perfect one to end on. Because I loved the world. I read my Goodreads review and I was shocked. I was very shocked because I was like, why did I rate this so highly and talk about it so highly? But then I got to the last line and I understood. Because the world is amazing. I remember reading An Ember in the Ashes, the first book, and it was really, really good. And then the second book was good, and then the last book was good. I really enjoy it, and I love the world. I love the plot. I love how Sabaa Tahir writes. I do love that. Like, the suspense that she builds, the situations her characters go through. It was just like, I'm always on the edge of my seat no matter what's going on. And I'm excited for the last book. I really do enjoy the series, especially the villain. He's a great villain. I love the series. But then we had this romance between Elias and Leia. And the first book, I loved Elias. And Leia was always just like this. She was really weak. She's like a coward. She always ran from everything. I really don't like her, and I really never started either. I like Helen. Helen was a great character, and she still is, and I still love her the most. And I still ship her with Elias. But anyway, I'm continuing the series, and their romance starts to disgust me more and more because they just start to be so cringy, and everything they do is just so overdramatic and just so ugh. Like, I really don't enjoy reading them at all, and they're so cringy. I had to stop reading the book at several intervals to just be like, this is so cringy. Like, I was getting secondhand cringe from reading their scenes together. It was ridiculous, and I'm like, I like this book so much, but I can't even continue right now because the romance is disgusting. And it was a fantasy book, and it's not like it didn't overshadow the fantasy aspects. I gave the book like a 4 stars, but I had to take an entire star off just because the romance was that cringy. Like, what is going on here? It was just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and, the type of romances that I like never make it into these books, so that's why I don't like them very much. But there are books that I enjoy that are not on this list because the romance did not ruin the novel for me. Like, I could not like a ship and still enjoy the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like, in Acowar, it's a really good example. In Acowar, I really hated Tamlin and Pharaoh. Just on the basis because they were very generic and basic to me. I just don't like I don't really like the story of Beauty and the Beast. The movie I did like. Okay, the first one was really cute. I did like how their relationship evolved, whatever. But in a YA form, it's disgusting. It brings out all the parts of the relationship that I really don't enjoy. And I didn't like them. But I just didn't like them. It wasn't like the book was bad because I didn't like them. The book was still good. It was just like I didn't like them. And the book was cheesy in other ways, and I gave it the star rating it deserved. But at least the book was not ruined because of the romance. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just biased because I don't like the ship. Okay, I'm not. I'm an equal opportunist reviewer. I don't have to like everything about your book or agree with it to enjoy the novel. But these novels specifically are just examples of times where romance was just too prevalent in a novel, or it was just, it was doing too much. It was just doing too much, basically. Because in all of these cases, somebody did too much, and it really just ruined the entire book or the series. In Vampire Academy's case, and Acawar's too. But I hope you enjoyed that. I haven't made a rant in a minute, but it was fun to just come in here and kind of roast people for a minute. And I will be coming out with some more in the future because I have a lot planned that I never did because I started to do a lot of these when I was reading a lot of YA because YA is ass back in like 2018, and then I kind of started reading thrillers, and then I just stopped making the rant videos. But I do want to get back into that a little bit because I do like talking about stuff I don't like, and I don't know, I just kind of enjoy it, and I think you guys enjoy it too. So if you want to see any specific rants or any videos at all, tell me in the comments. I'll see you guys later with another video. Bye.